So I did the dumbest thing you could do. I called Heritage and told them that this guitar is beautiful. Thank you for sending it, but I won't play it because I feel like my fingers are rubbing the fretboard. So let's do guitar of the week. I think it'll be a little fun. And this one was a request that happened last week, and I decided to do it. So let's do it. This is the Heritage Custom Core H150. This is essentially Heritage Guitar's competition for a Gibson R9. So think high-end Gibson custom shop. Now, this is the important part. Heritage does have an H150 that is not like this. It's a more of a traditional, like a Les Paul standard. That would be what they would be going after that. And then be priced more like a Les Paul standard. This is priced to compete with essentially a $6,000 to $7,000 Gibson. So this guitar is in lemon burst. And let me tell you the things that I like. So this is a one-piece, lightweight mahogany body. Now, this one, for full disclosure, is chambered. I don't know where they chambered it. They didn't tell me. I requested it to be chambered. This was something in hopes that I was trying to explain to them that if they made their guitars lighter, I think they could grab a lot more of us Gibson fans to come over because Gibson isn't weight relieving guitars. At this point, they do not plan to chamber them. They did this one for me. I think it was more of a let's test to see what happened. So if this is something you're interested in, please light up their emails. Hey, in a positive way. Tell Heritage, like, I loved it. I saw your chambered Les Paul. Why does that matter? This guitar is 7.5 pounds. 7.5 pound Les Paul. Other things that are important to mention is it's an aged nitrocellulose lacquer finish. It replicates the look and feel of a well-worn classic. So yeah, it does. It's got kind of like a not a haze, but yeah, it's like kind of like looks like I've had it. I see it looks shiny, but you can tell it's just kind of a little worn. It's not relicked. You can get this guitar relicked for $500 more. Basically, you get a relicked looked instrument. I didn't specifically want that. This has what they call a comfortable mahogany 50 C-shape. Now, this is the important part. This C-shape neck, which is very C-shaped, is thinner than my Gibson R9. So, that neck is super thick. This is not as thick, but still pretty thick. But these are also plecked like Gibson. This has the Custom Shop 225 Classic humbuckers, which is a recreation of the magical PAF pickup. I'm just reading their ad copy. I like that it says magical. It's handcrafted in Kalamazoo. Here's what's funny about this. Gibson talks about the authentic part. Here's a guitar made in the original factory that some of the most coveted Gibsons were ever made. A lot of people don't like, I'm just going to talk about the elephants in the room. They don't like the Heritage headstock. I get that, right? You're used to the Gibson one. I could care less. I never wanted a Fender because I thought the headstock was ugly. And then I played a Strat one day and I go, I love this. I got to have a Strat. And I think for me, that's when it started, like, I don't care about headstocks. So that's why it's something I'm just not focused on. But if it's your thing, I get where it bugs you. I like it. I like that the design gives it a straighter string pull across the nut with its design. I like that. I like their pickguard, though. This, I have to tell you, this pickguard looks way better to me than the Gibson one. This one actually follows the contour of the body shape. This actually makes sense. What's funny is it's kind of like they did this because they couldn't, make it look like the Gibson. And I bet you when they did this, I bet you some people at Gibson saw that and went, damn it, we should have done that. I mean, look how it covers right there. Look how cool this looks. I love this. It looks great. That top though is, let me go another view of this. Look at this. Maybe that'll be our thing. Like Josh Scott goes, he's got the box. We'll be like, look at that top. You have the binding and they don't do the weird thing that Gibson does where they bleed the red into the binding, which I actually prefer this way, that look to it. The Heritage sticker right here doesn't normally go there. It went on this pickguard right here, but I took it off. Their tuning keys are their labeled tuning keys. They got a very Goto kind of vibe to them. It comes with a case that's really plush inside, and of course you get a certificate. Obviously at this price point, this is the most expensive price point that basically Heritage has. This guitar was sent to me by Heritage, and you probably remember, I've talked about this briefly, this guitar came, and although I can tell you the weight is perfect, the top is fantastic. These pickups are some of the best damn pickups I've ever heard. It plays like a dream. I didn't love the frets. They're just a little too low for me. Gibson frets are a little low for me. So here's what I will tell you. If you sometimes pick up a Gibson Les Paul and feel like your fingers are kind of rubbing the fretboard, you like taller frets maybe, you're used to that. This is just a little bit lower than Gibson. It's not much, just a little bit lower than that. So I did the dumbest thing you could do. I called Heritage and told him that this guitar is beautiful. Thank you for sending it. I just won't play this guitar every day because I feel like my fingers are rubbing the frets or the fretboard. And it's not that, I love it. Thank you. But then, as I always do, I said, I just got to tell you honestly, I think you guys are making a guitar that's better than Gibson, and I mean that. I have this exact guitar as a Gibson. I paid an insane amount of money for that guitar, way more than what these things go for. If you want, I will refret it, but I have to disclose to my audience that I refret the guitar. I can't tell them like, I love it, it's great, you should go buy one. I gotta tell them like, hey, if you love lower frets, if you don't have a problem with vintage height frets, this is the guitar for you. Everything about this sings and perfect. And like I said, you don't have to get the crazy custom shop one for $4,000. The other one is $2,500. Again, I know we're talking about a lot of money, but we're talking about compared to Gibson, okay? Compared to Gibson, this is where they're priced to fight. And I said, but I have to tell everybody that. And they said, well, please tell everybody that. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I mean, it's not going to be, it's a great guitar, but, you may want to look at refretting it. And then they said, we'd actually like to make you another one, and we're going to put taller frets on it for you and send it to you. And what I didn't know at the time, and I've since shared with you, and I highly recommend you check out the video, Tim Pierce has done a video. It's like the best guitar he's ever played in his life, or it's the best Gibson style guitar he's ever played in life. And it's this exact same guitar, except he got the Relic, and Heritage refretted for him. He had the same criticism. We hadn't talked. He had the same criticism, and he said the same thing I said. If you put taller frets on these guitars, you are going to outsell Gibson in every way. You're priced more aggressively. The quality is fantastic. And the vibe, it's made in the same factory that the original Gibson. The 59 Les Paul was made in the same factory this guitar was. This is a pretty, talk about authenticity. It's pretty cool, right? Here's the dumbest thing I can say, but it's the truth. If that bothers you, one thing I can tell you is you can buy this guitar at Sweetwater and have Sweetwater refret it with taller frets, and the price is still way less than Gibson's. I'm just letting you know that you can do that. So let's demo the sounds, because the thing that's going to really impress you is what impresses me. Let me just make sure it's in tune. I'm running through my Fender Princeton. What I want to show you is this bridge pickup. If you're like me, one of the things I don't love about my Gibson Les Pauls is the bridge is really thin. That's the bridge pickup running through the Princeton. Now watch what happens when I go to the neck. And then the bridge, it cuts, but it's not tinny. So I'm going to turn on my OD11, just my light overdrive. It's a ZenDrive clone. So if you're not familiar with ZenDrives, it's like a ZenDrive, but it's a clone. And I'm going to start with a bridge and a little overdrive. So let's go to that. A lot of people commenting on the top. The top is rather just stunning, right? So we got a mahogany neck with a rosewood fretboard. It's a 12-inch radius. It's got acrylic trapezoid inlays, 22 medium jumbo frets, which is the important part of what I want to talk about. They're listing them as medium jumbos. These, to me, I would say are vintage height. It's a bone nut. Dirty Lemon Burst is the name of this color. The top is premium curly maple, 2 volumes, 2 tones, and a toggle switch. Comes with Elixir 10 to 46 strings. If you're looking at let's be fair, a $7,000 Gibson Les Paul, because that's what this is competing with. The question is, this is almost half of a Murphy Lab and stuff. The question is it a viable, guitar to get? Can you get something that, if you really just care about having that big Gibson sound, right? Because that's basically what this is, the big design sound, the big 50, they are not the 1959 sound. Can you get that? I think you can, like I said. And the quality of the neck and the feeling and the guitar, I think it's all there. Like I said, my main thing is, I was actually excited when I saw the specification before the guitar came out, because I was thinking, oh, these frets are medium jumbos and they're going to be really tall, and I like that even more than my Gibson. So what I plan to do, so you guys know, is when that guitar comes, I will actually do a deep dive of that guitar against my Gibson R9. And at the end of the video, I will tell you if that one is going back or I'm selling off the Gibson R9. Spets Nasty says, why not keep both? I can't physically keep both. You can only have so many before they just become dust collectors. So that's what it is. And I've said this many times before. For something to come in, something's got to go out. This new Paul Reed Smith that I reviewed this week that I love, it's came in, something's going out. Another PRS is going out. Troll says, do heritage guitars hold value? Not like Gibsons. That's why, like I said, it's got to be less money, because it's not going to retain like a Gibson. But in the grand scheme of things, here's to put this in perspective. This guitar, technically in its specifications, is slightly still less than the used Gibson R9 with same spec. Not much, but it's slightly less new than a Gibson R9. But they hold value. They just don't hold value like Gibsons. Resale value has a lot to do with advertising. I've said this before. The most expensive part of guitar is the advertising. I'm telling you guys, it's not a guess. It's 100% true. Customer acquisition cost in this industry is very high. It doesn't matter that the, guitar players all have piles of guitars. It doesn't matter. It's really, really expensive to get customers in this business. And one of the things that helps that is the more they advertise, not only the more they sell, but the more they sell used. Look, you watch a YouTube channel and they talk about the newest, whatever PRS or BC Rich or, Gibson or whatever Fender. And not only is that guitar going to sell, but used guitars are going to sell, because you're going to go out there, if somebody shows you a guitar that you're out of your price comfort zone, or you're just not going to buy, it doesn't mean you didn't get the bug to get something and then you go and start buying something less expensive. It is not a coincidence that the companies that do the absolute best have some of the biggest advertising budgets. I think that's why you're seeing Heritage reach out to influencers and stuff and try to get out there. They're trying to get out there. That's smart. G&L's doing it right now too. They're trying to get out there. It's smart. They don't have the budgets that Fender and Gibson have, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't put out their marketing, because the marketing is important. It's important. You got to educate customers about guitars. If you enjoyed this podcast clip, you can watch the entire episode by clicking the link in the description or streaming it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. You can also join it live every week, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. Until next time, know your gear.